A ver, pues. ¡Fuera! Hey there, I'm Leslie Stark. I'm the owner of the Dobie team, and I'm the one that recorded the video that you just saw about the golden and the Dobie. I posted it on social media, both on TikTok and Instagram. And actually, I'm doing this video because I was shocked with the amount of comments, with countless errors, actually, about some common phrases that are often misinterpreted, such as, for example, the golden was just coming to play. He was wagging his tail. Error, big, huge error. We're gonna see why after, so stay with me. Second phrase, the golden was trying to dominate. He's a dominant alpha male. Error. I'm also gonna go through that in a bit. And then many people saying that I should have left my dogs, like attack the golden and give him a lesson. And some other people that just said I should have prevented the conflict and stopped recording or whatever. So we're gonna go through all of that just in a moment. Stay with me. So we reached the first common phrase and the most repeated comment of all the videos in every social media that I posted it. So the dog is just friendly. He wants to play. He's wagging his tail. Biggest error. Please remember and take into your mind that a wagging tail is not a synonym or play or friendliness. Keep that in mind. A wagging tail doesn't mean that the dog wants to play. That's one of the biggest misconceptions that people have, and actually one of the reasons why most or a lot of fights actually occur. So, to understand this, I'm going to explain a bit of body language, and we're going to see not only static positions of tails and their meanings, but also what a wagging tail means in different ways of wagging, and finally, some types of movements and positions that can indicate that the dog is not friendly, but rather coming in an aggressive way or in a challenging way towards the stimuli or dog, person, whatever that he has right in front of him. So stay with me. So this is a static image of different positions of dog's tails. And we're going to go kind of fast through the first ones because I want to focus on D. But first on number A, well, on letter A, sorry, we have a dog that has the tail totally tucked in between the back legs. What does this mean? Because I also have a crouched body position, the ears back, the dog with the head kind of down, and the eyes kind of shut down, then it's definitely a dog that's absolutely fearful of what he has in front of him. The situation has him terrified for some reason, and hence the tail is totally carried in between the legs. It's an extreme fear situation that this dog is facing, and he's absolutely not comfortable with what he's experiencing or seeing or experiencing. In B, we have a dog that's unsure. If you analyze here the tail, you see that the dog has the tail down, but not totally pricked between the legs. So it's just very low. The body position is also kind of laying back. The tongue is out and the ears are still back. So this is not a submissive dog, as some call it. It's just an unsure dog that doesn't want any conflict or problem with the situation that he is facing. So he's kind of, oh my God, I'm not here for any issue. I'm just, sorry. Like, I don't need any problem. I don't mean any threat. That's kind of the message that this dog is sending towards the situation or stimuli that he is facing. On C, we have a relaxed dog. How do we know this? The position of the tail, first thing to notice, it's totally just hanging in a natural way. The body, relaxed, normal position, neutral, not laid back, not forward. The ears, the same, it's just, hanging there in a natural way. The mouth is open, but in a relaxed manner. tongue is out, also in a relaxed manner, and the eyes are kind of in an almond shape, happily looking towards what he has on front. So that's basically a relaxed dog that doesn't have any problem with the situation or stimuli that he's facing. In D, and here is where I want to place your focus, is a tail that is totally rigid, tense, pricked up, and basically arched, almost arched towards the back. So this is a defensive tail. The dog means business. So he either wants to, he will possibly have two options, fight or flight. In this position, with the body forward, as you see this dog in position D, the ears kind of going to the front, mouth shut, and the eyes lean toward the target, this is basically a dog that is ready to fight back if the threat, means that he needs to get into a position to attack or to get against the object or stimuli that he has in front of him. So this is a whole position of a body that's totally defensive. This is not a happy tail. This is not a normal position. It's just a threatening, kind of alert and defensive way of showing himself towards the target or stimuli that he has in front. We can also notice that the hairs are totally up through the whole body. So this is another signal that this dog means serious business. And finally, in E, which I wouldn't pay much attention, we have a tail that is carried, in a neutral position. It's not down, it's not up, it's just, straight. He's looking forward and is alert, but he means no threat. And basically, it looks as if he won't search for any problem unless maybe he's triggered or fought, So observe the video. Take special care to the position of the tail and the type of wag. Look where the tail is, high in the air, okay? We're gonna put play again. Look at the tail, look at the height of the tail. Observe. Height of the tail, movement. That's it. So we have 6 images, okay? The left top image is a happy wag. If you see the wag here in the top left is a tail that's usually in a middle position, not entirely up, not down, just in a natural way of wagging. And when a happy wag occurs, usually the tail wags from left to right in a complete motion. Doesn't tend to move to one side. It wags all around, left to right, left to right. Then on the top right, we have a super excited wag. Here, what usually happens is that the wag gets faster and faster, and this leads to a helicopter movement, kind of like this. So it gets overly excited, overly excited, overly excited, overly excited, and that's usually a dog that's extremely desperate to play, to interact, doesn't know how to interact. He lacks social skills and hence gets super excited when he sees another dog. Then we have the curious wag in a normal position, usually a slow movement, slight movement. He tries to interact or he will be curious, but is not so much excited or neutral. He's just natural, wanting to meet and whatever. But now, besides all the other options that we have, I wanted to focus on the last image, the one on the right, lower right image, and take a close attention at this image and this wag with the video that we're gonna play again. So usually what is interpreted as an aggressive wag or thought to be an aggressive wag is when the tail is absolutely pricked up, arched over the back, and once it starts to go faster and kind of moves just on the tip of the tail, it's more of signaling aggression rather than any type of friendliness. So that's a type of movement that we need to be very careful because it can often lead to extreme fights in dogs. So I'm gonna play the video once again and take a special look at the position of the tail and the way it wags. up, up, tense movement, just up. Just up. Okay, before saying anything else, I want you to learn about this. Observe the video again. See the direction of the wag. Left, direction to the left, tending towards the left. Then it starts to get as a helicopter a bit, excitement. And then look, it's up, tending left, up, left, up, left. It tends to go to the left, left wag, and then he pounces and tries to get seals. So why then also observe that part, left. Okay, so why I want to point out the type of movement, because despite the position of the tail and the movement, you need to observe the direction towards the direction to which the tail tends to move in a dog. So a tail that has movements tending towards the left of the dog, so the left of the dog, is usually evoking negative feelings, this meaning being anxious, aggressive, tense, or stressed dog. And a tail with movements tending towards the right side of the dog usually evokes positive feelings. So the dog is either neutral, friendly, not wanting a conflict, and just, in a normal, happy, positive emotions position. So it's not easy to take a look at this part, but it's very important to notice and to observe when you evaluate a video like such, where the position of the tail is tending and what emotions are being combined. So actually, with all this that I'm saying, it's impossible to say that this dog was approaching my dogs in a friendly manner. The overall position of the dog's body, that the way the tail was totally rigid and up, that just upside movement tending towards the left, negative emotions, and then the movement also tending towards the left as he tries to get back and hit on them, is basically an indicator that this dog was meaning business. And if my dogs would have bit back, possibly it would have escalated into a bigger conflict. I also think that since he saw 3 dogs, and I didn't back up or try to run away, he kind of stopped and, some survival instinct punched in, because he went directly but didn't bite immediately. I think, it's also a combination that he got like overly excited, meant business, and tried to target the male, tried to target seals. Then he saw that the other ones were going to pounce to him. So, it was a lot of things happening. But the definite thing is that the approach was not at all friendly, and this dog didn't want to play. This dog was meaning real business, and actually it could have easily escalated into a big, big fight if my dogs would have reacted immediately. It helped that they had the emotional capability to keep, just stable in some sense at that situation. And at the end, the fact that they didn't back actually helped to finish, all the engagement in a normal, without problems position, rather than in a big, big, huge fight. So yeah, I'm gonna keep going. So I wanted to point out also some other things, that besides the tail, as I'm saying, eyes also indicate a lot. You have to see whether the eyes are fixed towards a target, or if the eyes are like kind of in a round position or more of an almond shape. So when you evaluate body language, you just not focus on a specific part of the body, but you in general observe the overall body position and the intention. So if this dog was coming directly into my dogs with the tail as it was, with the movement tending towards the left, as you saw in the video, and we're gonna go back now to see that, then you definitely don't have a friendly dog coming. You basically have a dog that is meaning real business, and this can escalate or easily have escalated into a fight. Actually, this dog has history of having beaten smaller dogs. So if you ask me why it didn't escalate into a fight, I think first it was 3 and he was 1. So despite he was kind of stupid to come and face us, I think the fact that we didn't run back, he kind of stopped. And also, since my dog didn't bite back immediately, I think he was also kind of like, oh my God, not knowing what to do, because he tried to go to Zeus and he had the other two females coming at him. So we can never know why it didn't escalate, but gladly it didn't. So just one more time, observe the position and the wag of the tail tending towards the left. Left, left, and then kind of helicopter. So it combines with excitement. Just there, helicopter, excitement. Boom. And look, observe particularly here where the tail goes. Totally high, and the movement tends towards the left side of the dog, left side of the dog. That means negative emotions. By no means this is a friendly bow or friendly tail movement. This is absolutely an aggressive way to approach another dog. Up, left, 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 and then starts to move to both sides. So the movement of the tail is tending towards the left side of the dog, which means there are no positive emotions in this encounter. So going into the second most common comment, that this dog was going to dominate and he was an alpha male and he meant business and dominance and everything. This is totally false. First thing, the theory of dominance was first published and established by David Meck, a biologist that studied wolves in Yellowstone, but initially did a study of wolves that were kept in captivity. So this meant that there were scarce resources in space, food, mating areas, and all that includes resources that could be lacking when animals live in total captivity. So that's when he realized that there were several fights. And that's when he established a theory of dominance based on a study that he made with these wolves in captivity. But the thing is that he later realized and actually canceled his own theory because he restudied these wolves in nature in Yellowstone, and he realized that it was not actually one male that was a dominant in a pack, but it was actually a pair, a mating pair, so female and male, that led the pack of wolves, and this didn't mean that the dominant couple was the aggressive one or the one that exerted like physical force into the others to win, but it was rather the two oldest members of the pack that served as guides for the youngest ones, and they kind of led them to understand and make them learn about the possible ways to coexist and to ensure survival. Why didn't dominance go in accordance to physical force and fights and pressures? Basically, because in nature, you don't have veterinarians or you don't have someone to cure when you fight. So for a pack to fight for dominance in a physical way against other members is not logic, because of course, the cost of opportunity of fighting and possibly ending up injured means that you can't travel with the pack, you can't hunt, and you can't bring food, and you can't survive at the end. So it makes nonsense. So he did discover when he studied the wolves in nature that he had made a huge error while doing this theory, because it was not an alpha male, but rather a couple or even a female that dominated the pack, but not in a physical way, but just as a guide and serving as an example for the rest of the pack. So the theory of dominance has been debunked a long time ago. So it's time that every one of you can actually become more modern on your thoughts. And there is nothing about dominance in this scenario, but rather it's a case of emotional imbalance and lack of proper socialization when this dog was a puppy, lack of social skills, and poor upbringing by the owners, and poor responsibility actually for letting the dog being off leash, having these social issues, and of course, this behavioral problem. So now about the third comment that I should have left my dogs attack the golden and let them off leash and let them defend themselves and blah, blah, blah. It's very easy to talk, and it's not so easy to actually act in the moment. My way of thinking was that, of course, if there would have been a bite and the dog would have held on to my dogs, I would have let the other ones off leash to defend themselves and possibly damage the golden in a very extreme manner. Especially Gaia, for example, I know she would go and bite up. She doesn't mark, she just attacks. So by knowing my dogs, I thought that the best thing was to try and prevent the actual fight. Because of course, who would be blamed? The doggies, because there's stupid breed-specific legislation. Ari, there's stupid breed-specific legislation that would blame the Dobermans and not the golden. So that's why I didn't let them off leash. And finally, you should have prevented the conflict. Yeah, you can talk. How stupid of you for recording and not preventing the situation. One, you cannot prevent a situation where an off-leash dog is running towards you. Do you think we would outrun the dog by running away? No, that will actually activate the prey drive of the dog. And even worse, if I try to escape, my thought was to, make front and make, go against the situation to try and stop him from coming and attacking directly, but rather trying to stop him from seeing that there were 3 dogs plus me facing him and not running away. Why I took my phone, because of course, I saw the dog off leash, and when he went like this, I knew that he either stayed there or came immediately running. And I need to have any sort of defense to prove that the golden was the one that attacked my dobies. Otherwise, BSL can go against us. So I think it's not about complaining, but rather to learn from this situation. My main point was to try and promote responsible ownership. And of course, to say how we are not doing right by blaming specific breeds of dogs. So yeah, thank you. I hope that this analysis helped you at least to understand a bit, and see you in the next video. Bye.